A soldier, an Olympic athlete, a doctor, and a man of incredible bravery. This is Noel Chavasse, a man who would go on to see some of the most horrific conditions ever experienced on a battlefield, and a man dedicated to saving lives. I've come to Oxford and the chapel at St Peter's College to meet historian John Cooksey, who studied his life.
Here's a man who was very, very skillful, a very skilled runner. And so he's endowed with natural gifts. But I think a lot of how Noel turned out and how he behaved on the battlefield certainly had its roots in his upbringing in Oxford.
When war broke out, Noel became an army medic. Very soon he found himself on the front line, and by 1916 at the Somme.
We've got this glutinous mud, which was a feature of the Somme battlefields later on.
This original training trench at RAF Halton near Aylesbury gives you some idea of the mud and claustrophobia the men would have experienced. It was Noel's actions in the Somme that led to him being awarded his first Victoria Cross.
In times of a great attack, there would be a terrific influx of wounded men. And he would be working flat out with his stretcher bearers. Chavasse himself is going into no man's land with a torch and a whistle, they say, right up to the German wire. So across the width of no man's land, up to the German barbed wire entanglement.
And all the while, Noel still found the time to write home to his family. This is the letter that Noel wrote to his mother. In it, he says that he's sorry to hear that she's been unwell again. He goes on to describe the horrific conditions on the front line. But he also describes how a gramophone has arrived at the dugout and how it's helping raise the spirits of the men at such a difficult time.
Take me back to dear old Blighty. Put me on the train for London town.
He did all sorts of things to try and make their lives better. He had a brazier going and he had cocoa boiling on it all the time. He got magazines from home and lots of candles, and so he put the candles in holders so that the men could read at night. He was very, very keen on making sure that the men's difficulties were alleviated as much as possible.
But the war claimed his life eventually. In 1917, Noel was awarded a second Victoria Cross for bravery after being fatally wounded.
He's a hero, there's no doubt about it. But if you delve deeper, the man is human. He's a human being who is full of compassion, care, consideration for his men, for his family, for all around him. And I think that's why we should remember Noel Chavasse.